most people think about courage, they imagine a heroic act, like someone going into battle or a firefighter running into a burning building. For centuries, courage has been associated with physical bravery, and psychologist Cynthia Purdy has wrote in her article, Courage, published by the Oxford Biographies in Psychology in 2017, that physical courage is the form of courage that is most commonly distinguished and studied, while moral courage has received a lot less attention. I believe that physical courage matters, but that alone is not true courage. True courage is choosing to stand up for what is right when it could cost you everything. And I don't think anyone demonstrates this better than Malala Yousafzai. When the Taliban took over Malala's town in 2007, fear kept so many people quiet, but 15-year-old Malala refused to stay quiet. My name is Brooklyn Lisby, and today I want to convince you that moral courage isn't defined by fearlessness or by physical bravery alone, but it's defined by moral courage, physical perseverance, and emotional strength altogether. Growing up, Malala loved school. But when the Taliban took over her town and banned girls from attending it, she became an activist, speaking publicly and writing blogs, speaking up for women's and girls' rights for education. She knew her actions would come with consequences, but she chose to speak anyway. And in 2012, at age 15, on her way home from school, Malala was shot on the left side of her head by the Taliban. Less than a year later, July 2013, she spoke at the United Nations, saying, "The terrorists thought that they would change my aim and stop my ambitions, but nothing has changed my life except weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage were born." Remember when I said that courage isn't the absence of fear, but it's acting despite it? Well, Malala sure wasn't fearless. She was threatened and she could have died, but she chose to stay strong. She chose to stand on the world stage and speak up anyway. This is what true courage is. And this alone proves that moral courage, physical courage, and emotional courage all work together to make true courage. And true courage starts with moral courage. In 2021, EBSCO research starters defined moral courage as choosing to stand up for what is right, even when it could be risky for yourself. And being physically brave, means nothing if you never stand up for what is right. Malala demonstrated moral courage when she chose to continue to speak, even after receiving death threats. Some people may think that simply surviving something dangerous makes someone courageous, but I've had 8 concussions, been electrocuted twice, had my finger reconstructed, and have had COVID 3 times, and I don't think that is the case. Maybe those situations have made me tougher, but they didn't automatically make me a courageous person, because courage comes from what we choose to do afterwards. After being shot, Malala was in a coma for 10 days, and the moment she started to recover, she chose to keep standing up for what is right, and when she totally could have stayed quiet and stayed safe. And that is what physical courage is. It is the ability to face pain, injury, and danger while continuing to take action afterwards. Physical courage isn't just surviving danger, it's choosing not to be controlled by it. And physical wounds often heal before emotional wounds. When Malala's physical wounds healed, she didn't let her emotional wounds stop her. Instead, she chose to react with emotional courage. Psychologist Nick Wignall wrote in his article, 7 Habits of Emotionally Courageous People, published in 2021, that people with emotional courage often confront their painful emotions instead of avoiding them, and they move forward even though it can be uncomfortable for themselves. But Malala, when speaking at the United Nations, stated, "I am Malala. My ambitions are the same, my hopes are the same, my dreams are the same." Having courage to stand on this world stage only 10 months after being shot took Malala so much emotional courage. But emotional courage isn't just something world leaders can have. Sometimes it can look like someone returning to school after being bullied, speaking up after experiencing abuse, or asking for help after struggling with depression. Getting back up can sometimes be much braver than never falling. We often admire courage because it looks dramatic, it looks brave or cool, but it begins with choosing to do what we think and what we believe is right. Physical bravery matters, but without moral courage, it loses its whole purpose. And I believe that Malala is the best example that proves that true courage starts with the decision to do what is right, endure through physical hardship, and then it continues through emotional strength. Most of us will never stand at a world stage after being threatened or shot. And not all of us will become heroes like firefighters or emergency people, but we will all have moments in our life where staying quiet or staying still is so much easier and so much safer than acting up or speaking up. When this moment comes, the question we will ask ourselves isn't, do I feel fear right now? It will be, do I have the courage to act anyway and do what is right? I hope your answer is yes. Thank you.